I can't even believe this is a conversation on the right or with anybody who has even two marbles rolling around in their head. And so I'm going to be very, very clear and then provide the receipts to you on why this idea, anybody even entertaining the idea of self defense in this case, is either a family member of this individual, Karmelo, a grifter. Well, maybe they're grifting on the idea, meaning like people are raising money or this kind of stuff, or they're just being a contrarian for clicks. The details of this case are extraordinarily cut and dry. And in fact, as I pour over more and more witness statements, I would go so far as to say that this, while maybe not premeditated, it was I will show you how Carmelo Anthony put things into motion to justify him taking another person's life. It is my opinion that he sat there for the purpose to agitate. There is no evidence to the contrary. If he didn't, okay, let's say there's some people saying he might have been sitting with a friend. If he didn't, when the altercation began, due to multiple witnesses' testimony, he escalated things to such a point in which he felt he could use a self-defense protection, which I will show you using smart lawyer people who actually try self-defense law, that he is not anywhere near a self-defense case. And this dude should spend his entire life in prison. Now, a judge has already come out and ruled out the death penalty and ruled out even life in prison. And he has also hired himself a fancy new BLM lawyer. So let's get into this. I'm hoping I'm going to end this ridiculous nonsense speculation for just speculation case. By the way, thank you everyone for helping me out with our Mother's Day gift boxes, our K-Cups, and our ground and whole bean coffee on Amazon. We're now only 100 reviews away on our ground coffee and 130 away on our K-Cups. It's my birthday Saturday. I'm hoping you'll pick up one of these and make sure you come back, take a picture, leave a review, help me take on the big brands. Everything's on sale, 15% off or 10% off. Also, still need several heroes to pick up their Mother's Day gift box early. The second you get it, please take a picture, come here, leave a review like all these other heroes did, Rob and Steven and Patrick. A video review would be maximum, Chad, but I definitely need your help. So there's this video going on. It's not just Tim, by the way. I'm not going to just pick on Tim here, okay? First of all, breaking new corruption in Carmelo Anthony's defense advocacy. Carmelo's newly hired attorney, Kim T. Cole, is a general counsel in the Next Generation Action Network Foundation. NGAN is a BLM supporting 501(c) that, based on a full investigation, has brought in six figures, yet has filed a total of 2 IRS reports since its inception in 2014, 10 years ago. According to federal law, 501(c)s are required to file annual returns of their income and expenses to the IRS. Records also show the organization received a giant grant from another entity called Good Work Dallas with the same registered address, which could indicate alleged money laundering. They have also repeatedly opened new 501(c) organizations, 3 and 4, under slightly different names, where their status is revoked for lack of financial filing. When pressure is placed on them, they start a new entity. They leave room for the money to, quote, disappear. This involves multiple federal EINs, state recognition, and missing entities in between the years that each 501(c) had even begun. The fraudulent foundation was run and founded by Dominique Alexander, Carmelo Anthony's, quote, family advocate, and a known felon with a history of fraud, forgery, hitting women, and a conviction for hitting a kid. Okay? Dominique also has a history of provoking aggressive protesting, arriving at people's private homes to, quote, protest and intimidate jurors. Dominique was also responsible for the protests in Dallas that ended with Micah Johnson's, firing and 5 police officers passing away. Carmelo Anthony's newly hired lawyer, Kim T. Cole, is also Dominique's attorney. In a recent press conference, Dominique Alexander spoke as Carmelo's advocate, stating that the bond was simply too high, defending the argument of self-defense. He said that Carmelo family was dealing with racism and bigotry with no evidence whatsoever. The lie served to aggravate protesters, create a narrative that caused more divisiveness. Here he is. This looks like his little mugshot here. Again, here they have collected funds in the sum of 6 figures, but participated in what is known as 501c bouncing, where they don't file with the IRS and they just move their money around tax-free. Dominique Alexander, also 5 years ago, was founded Next Generation, was arrested for causing serious bodily harm to his girlfriend's 2-year-old. This is the guy defending him. Okay. Now, there's a lot of people jumping on Tim for this argument, but it's not just Tim. There's a lot of people who are making this flawed argument where I'm telling you, there is no room for even considering this being self-defense.
There was an argument between Karmelo Anthony, who was from a rival school, who was there, and there were a bunch of kids from this town or whatever, and they got into an altercation. They told him
it's like Tim didn't even read the details.
Apparently, they had words. Carmelo Anthony pulled a knife out from his bag and said, "Touch me and see what happens."
That's not what happened, Tim. What happened was, according to multiple witness testimonies, he was asked to leave. He refused to leave. He stood up and said, "Touch me, see what happens." He got touched. He then said, he reached into his bag, pretending that he had a weapon in there, had not pulled it out yet, and then said, "Punch me, see what happens," which never happened. And then he took his life. Now, I'm going to explain to you why those actions, in my opinion, prove that he was curating this interaction to justify taking this man's life.
Witnesses said either he was touched or grabbed. They were different witness accounts, but that Austin Metcalf did put hands on Carmelo, who then stabbed him once in the chest before running away. According to police, Carmelo Anthony, when he got apprehended or turned himself in, however the story goes, I mean, different accounts, he asked if Austin was going to be okay and said it was self-defense. He asked.
Just saying something self-defense is not self-defense.
He said he grabbed me and I said self-defense. The family is arguing it was self-defense. It's strange to me that with this story, the right is adamant that this kid just killed another kid and he should go to prison forever. And I'm like,
what more evidence do you need?
We don't even know what happened. Like, you've got witness testimony that sounds like a fight happened at a school. Then I've heard the argument, yeah, well, he shouldn't have had a knife. He brought a knife to a school, and it's like, okay, what kind of knife was it? Was it a utility knife? Was it a switch?
I guarantee you it wasn't a utility knife. Those in general are not long enough to pierce someone's heart. You'd have to get awfully lucky. This was, as reported, like a K-bar knife or something like that.
Blade? Was it a machete? Like, did he have a stake?
It wasn't a machete, obviously, because those are not made for stabbing. They're made for cutting.
Knife? Was he coming back from culinary class where he had fine Japanese blades for cutting cucumbers? I have no idea.
Again, he's reducing it to the ridiculous here. I get what Tim is saying. Hey, we need more evidence. And I'm 100% fine, obviously, with this playing out in court. But, like, I think this is really disingenuous. And this is what a lot of Carmelo's supporters are doing.
You're allowed to carry knives in Texas. I'm pretty sure.
No, you're not. Not on school grounds. I guarantee that.
Here in Texas, especially if it's like a utility blade. You're also not allowed to grab people. Nobody knows the exact specifics of this story with Carmelo and...
We have nearly just under a half dozen or about a half dozen witness reports that all claim the exact same thing. Tim is right. We don't have video of it, but every story is basically exactly the same.
Metcalf. Some witnesses said that Austin touched Carmelo. Some say he grabbed him.
Neither is justification for deadly force.
Whatever. The courts will play it out. If weapons are banned, he's going to go to jail.
No, he's going to go to jail because even if they're not banned, this is not a legal case for self-defense.
However, in a general self-defense context, this is why I'm saying the story I find so confusing. We have always maintained when it comes to self-defense, it is not the responsibility of the victim of an attack to determine the extent of that lethal force.
Yeah.
If they are being attacked, their perception of how
he wasn't being attacked. And also we can go to a guy who's literally, it's his job, Mr. Bronca. talking about the law of self-defense, like literally the guy who understands self-defense law, and have him break it down pretty simply.
Not in this circumstance. Two young men. No, not in this circumstance. Two young men of similar size and strength, athletes. Simply grabbing someone is not. Now, might that be an unlawful battery?
Maybe.
Sure, I guess you could make that argument that Anthony Metcalf was committing a simple battery. Maybe not. But it certainly wasn't conduct that was likely to inflict death or serious bodily injury. And what is required for the lethal use of force in self-defense to be lawful under Texas law? Let's pull it up again. The Texas Deadly Force Self-Defense Statute. For the use of deadly force to be lawful self-defense, the defender here, Karmelo Anthony, had to reasonably believe that the deadly force was immediately necessary to protect against Austin Metcalf's attempted use of unlawful deadly force. Is there any evidence here to support the reasonable perception that Austin Metcalf was threatening unlawful deadly force upon Karmelo?
No, there's not.
If anything, there's evidence to suggest that Karmelo Anthony
was threatening him
in provocation with intent, deliberately provoking Austin Metcalf to go hands-on for the purpose of having an excuse to use the knife he knew he had in his bag upon Austin Metcalf. If you're ever compelled to use force.
That's exactly what I agree with. Tim Roy, I don't care about conservative tribal average. Again, this is not just about Tim. This is about everybody saying it's self-defense. Here's how it went. He sat under the wrong tent. He was told he needed to move. He refused to move. Okay? At that point, he's decided, I'm going to create a problem now. Then he grabbed his bag and opened it, reached inside, and proceeded to tell Austin. So he had basically armed himself at this point and said, touch me and see what happens. No one really thought Anthony had any weapons in his bag, so Anthony, of course, did touch him. That's, of course, I've done that in fights, you know. Oh, yeah, touch me, I dare you. Okay, touch, what are you going to do about it? Like, this is a fight, like, dance as old as time, right? Then, a short time later, then Anthony told him, oh, well, now you have to punch me. Punch me and see what happens. What he's trying to do, in my opinion, is escalate this situation to justify what he is already made up in his mind. He has already decided he wants to kill this white boy. That's what he's decided. And now he's armed inside of his backpack. He's escalating it on purpose. He could walk away. No one's keeping him there. And he is purposely escalating it in his mind because he thinks, oh, I'm going to get a free kill here. I'm going to get to take this boy's life, and then I'll go tell the cops it was self-defense. Austin then grabbed Anthony to tell him to move, and that's where he stabbed him. Karmelo Anthony deliberately escalated this situation to, in his mind, justify taking this kid's life. That's the facts of it. And anybody arguing against it is either doing it in bad faith or just for the lulz, or don't understand even the basics of the case. Putting your hands on somebody does not justify deadly force. The fact that the first words out of his mouth was it was self-defense tells you that that was the last thought on his mind when he was doing what he did. This kid deserves life in prison, and anybody who assumes any less is being influenced by something.